In 2025, the Sahel region is changing fast, and one man is right at the center of it all: President Assimi Goïta of Mali. Once a special forces commander, now a major force in African politics, Goïta is not just leading Mali, he's building powerful alliances across the continent. Today, we're diving deep into his strong friendship with Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré, his leadership of the Sahel Alliance, and the bigger vision they're creating for West Africa. So stay tuned, because Assimi Goïta is a name you need to know. Early life and military background. Assimi Goïta was born in 1983 in Bamako, the vibrant capital of Mali. Coming from a proud military family, his father was an officer in the Malian armed forces, Goïta was destined for a life of service. He started his training at the prestigious Prytanée Militaire de Kati, Mali's top military academy for young officers, and later continued at the École Militaire Interarmes in Kolokoro. But Goïta didn't just train in Mali. He sharpened his skills abroad, receiving special military training from the United States, France, and Germany. His expertise in counterterrorism and special operations would later play a key role in his country's fight against growing jihadist threats. By the time he was leading elite special forces missions in central Mali, Goïta had already built a reputation: tough, disciplined, and deeply loyal to Mali's sovereignty. Political ascendancy. In 2020, Mali was facing deep political unrest. Corruption, insecurity, and frustration with President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta pushed the people, and the military, to the edge. Assimi Goïta stepped into the spotlight when he led a group of officers, calling themselves the National Committee for the Salvation of the People, to overthrow Keïta in a bloodless coup. At just 37 years old, Goïta became the vice president of the transitional government under Ba and Da, promising to stabilize the country and organize elections. But tensions soon rose. In May 2021, when disagreements with civilian leaders intensified, Goïta led a second move, ousting the transitional president and officially taking power as the interim head of state. From that point on, Assimi Goïta wasn't just a military leader. He was Mali's president, and he had a much bigger plan for the nation's future. Governance and policies. Once in power, Assimi Goïta made it clear: Mali would chart its own path. One of his first moves was to push back against international pressure, especially from France, ECOWAS, and other Western powers. He demanded respect for Mali's sovereignty and decided to end military cooperation agreements with France, a bold move that caught global attention. Instead, Goïta turned east, strengthening military and economic ties with Russia. By 2025, Mali's army was stronger, better equipped, and more independent than ever before. Goïta even announced major investments to build Mali's own military industry, aiming to produce weapons and vehicles locally. Beyond defense, he focused on stabilizing rural areas, launching national development projects, and promoting a vision of a new Mali, self-reliant, secure, and proud. Alliance with Ibrahim Traoré and the Sahel region. One of Assimi Goïta's biggest moves as president was building a new alliance across the Sahel. Together with Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré and Niger's Abdourahmane Chiani, Goïta founded the Alliance of Sahel States, also known as the AES. This wasn't just a friendship. It was a military and political pact. If one country was attacked, the others would come to its defense. Together, they launched joint military operations to fight terrorism, secured their borders, and resisted political and economic pressure from outside forces like ECOWAS. In 2024, Assimi Goïta was named president of the AES, a symbol of the trust and leadership he earned among Sahel nations. His alliance with Ibrahim Traoré in particular became a model for a new type of African cooperation: bold, sovereign, and ready to defend itself. Domestic challenges and international relations. But Goïta's leadership hasn't been without controversy. Inside Mali, many citizens praised him for bringing security, but critics accused him of slowing down the transition to democracy. Elections were delayed several times, and opposition voices faced restrictions. Some worried that military rule could become permanent. On the international stage, Goïta's decisions strained relationships with traditional partners. ECOWAS, the West African regional bloc, imposed heavy sanctions in 2022 and criticized Mali's military government. Instead of backing down, Goïta doubled down, strengthening ties with Russia, Turkey, and other non-Western allies. In 2024, he even promoted himself to the rank of Army General, sending a strong message that he was here to stay. His alliances brought in new military equipment, training, and investment, but also shifted Mali's position away from the West and closer to a new global power dynamic. Conclusion. In just a few short years, Assimi Goïta has transformed from a little-known officer into one of the most influential leaders in Africa. His bold decisions, powerful alliances with Ibrahim Traoré and the Sahel region, and his stand for national sovereignty have earned him both admiration and criticism. Whether you view him as a hero of independence or a strongman clinging to power, there's no denying. Assimi Goïta is reshaping Mali, and the future of West Africa. What do you think about President Goïta's leadership? Is this the start of a stronger Africa, or a dangerous path for democracy? Let's talk in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more powerful stories from Africa, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.